stay up.
Don't hit the button, it does.
Okay, got 7:30 on my watch. Call the Commission of Public Safety to meeting to order, and this day, June the 10th, 2025. Roll call, please.
Bolton,
Here.
McIsaac,
Here.
McDaniel, Clinton,
Here.
Alvarado. Here.
So let the record show that Commissioner McDaniel was excused due to a health issue. So please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we need somebody to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from our May 13th meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the vote, please.
Bolton,
Yes.
McIsaac.
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Alvarado.
Chief,
Sir?
welcome back.
Thank you. For May, we had 789 incidents. We had 29 vehicles that were impounded. Violation count was 559, citation count is 497, and we made 31 arrests, which were all misdemeanor this time. Also handed out some documentation for you guys. The seniority list. AL is administrative leave, DD is duty disability, WC is workman's comp, and then you have FTO, so it shows all the people who are on FTO. So with that, we got 10 officers as of right now because of people being off and the FTO. Then I also sent you, or gave you some other documentation. What's not on the agenda that I was told to today, with your approval, we're gonna need the approval of 3 witnesses that are gonna be testifying whenever our procedures continue. So they're professional witnesses.
You lost me, Chief.
Okay. When we have our discipline hearing,
Yes.
we didn't put it on the agenda, but I was just told about it today, that we're gonna have to approve, three
Three
witnesses.
witnesses for our trial board.
Correct. Yeah. So that's what I'm requesting, is have a motion to approve the 3 witnesses. It's 2 use of force and then 1 taser.
make the motion, supporting the chiefs.
Can I just elaborate a little bit on it? So I've been in contact with corporate counsel. He requested that we get, two source, expert witnesses. One's from, out of state, so we're gonna need to, I don't know, make arrangements for him to come here. The other one is local, Hamel Park, I believe. And the third one is gonna be a taser expert witness. So I've been in contact with our taser, not instructor, but our taser, the person who, gives us advice on our taser policies and things of that nature, and he's gonna try to get us in contact with someone like that. So I don't know if it's gonna be in-state, out-of-state, but with corporal counsel, that's what, we kind of made a list of all the witnesses that we're gonna need, just a few, and those are the three that we're gonna need.
Everybody understanding that?
Yep.
We have a motion, we have support,
Support.
we have discussion. Call the vote, please.
Bolton,
Yes.
McIsaac,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Alvarado.
Yes.
Those aren't gonna be the only witnesses too, we're probably gonna have 11 or 12.
Those are the only ones that we need approval on because they're, gonna probably be paid witnesses, because they're expert witnesses, so that's what it's gonna be. Otherwise, it's majority law enforcement officers. We can-
So we need to send our motion to council, to pay the bills. Amend the motion for that.
Forward the motion to council. Support.
Second.
Okay,
And we do have, the trial board is, Furman has been advised, of all the necessary proceedings that needs to advise of, and we're moving forward on the date.
while you're up here talking about it, so, where do we stand on this currently? Could you like?
Well, corporate counsel and the chief and I, are in, contact with the union, my union for Lieutenant Furman, and we're just waiting on dates for.
We're waiting for them to
We're waiting
post
on
dates, that's what I wanted
dates.
to.
Correct, yeah.
So, Chad Treasurer is the union rep, but it's Larry Coogan, myself, Chad, Deputy Chief. We've been communicating. We're just waiting for their lawyer to give us dates, and then we'll also concur with that.
So the delay is not on our side, it's
The
just.
lay is not on us.
Want
It's
to
all
clear
on-
that up.
Yeah, it's all on the union side at this point.
Thank you. You still have the floor, chief.
All right, that's it for now. Unless there's any other conversation.
Questions for the chief?
Just so we're clear from last meeting, we had the motions for some of the incidents we're talking about to be kind of concluded by this meeting. So being that it's the union side that's holding things up, I believe that the department, the chief and deputy chief are well within our motions from last month, and they abided by those.
Good point.
Yep.
Do we need to do anything on that, or?
Take those off the table.
Yep.
We'll just make a motion, say that they're in compliance with the motions made from last meeting.
You wanna make that motion? You just did?
So, motion for 25.0504, 25.0507, I think it was, and 25.0508 were the three. Motion with the chief and deputy chief are in compliance with all motions passed at those three motions mentioned, and we're just waiting on the union.
Support that?
Support and then discussion, I just wanna double check.
Support discussion.
You,
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, I think you.
Yeah,
referenced
correct,
wrong.
yeah, 25.0504 was the, research, I exclude that one, so it was the 25.0507 and 0508 were the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all clear on that? Any more discussion?
Yeah.
Amend the motion?
Amend the motion for just the two, 07 and 08.
Now second,
The amended.
yeah.
Discussion again. Call the vote, please.
Bolton,
Yes.
McIsaac,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Alvarado.
Yes.
Anything else for the police chief?
Just glad to see you back.
Thank you.
how was some of these?
Some of those days went good. I talked to the owner of the carnival, they said it's the best that they've had so far. So,
As long as they've been coming here.
yeah, so, everything went without a hitch, there wasn't any problems, that was recognized. So everything, seemed like everybody was there to have fun and enjoy the carnival and, food.
Gee, could you, we, approved Code 3 security for Melvindale Basin. It's my understanding that that was not followed through by council, that, another company, Black Diamond, I believe, was, brought in at the last second, and from my understanding, we're lacking in professionalism. I didn't have a chance to make it down there, so this is from what I've been told.
I mean,
That's for next year's discussion. I mean, we wanna know what,
yeah,
you're obviously thinking about it, so.
yeah, I mean, there's
We can,
differences, but were they present? Yes, they were present.
we weren't as visible as Code 3.
Yeah, I mean, the Code 3, obviously, they have the security cars where, Black Diamond had their personal vehicles. So we had to understand which cars were whose. But otherwise, I mean, there was, when I was there a couple of days, I was there, I met the owner, we shook my hand. Thanks for the opportunity and, was cordial, there wasn't any issues. There was one that was by the ticket booth, and then there was one at, the park, the field. But, they did distinguish themselves, obviously, they didn't have the outer vest and the body camera. They did have the black shirts, black BDUs with security in front and the larger security in the back. So were they as present as Code 3? No. Were they there and people were able to see them? Yeah. Yeah, they were there.
Thank you. So, went off pretty good.
Yes.
Carnival was well attended.
Yes.
I helped donate a few dollars to the Little League, the beer booth. And,
Well, that's good.
and that was, I can tell you that the entertainment that I saw was very good.
Yeah.
And, well attended, and I think, the Melvindale Days Committee should be commended, on what a good job they did, from what I observed,
And the police department.
in the police department.
Yeah, I didn't have any issues with Black Diamond, but I'd like to thank also MSP, they helped us out, Wayne County Reserves, Homeland Security, they had a camera up, there with, and we had a drone, we had a canine dog. So we like to thank all the outside agencies. The only thing, was that we had a lot of missing kids, and we're researching ideas of how to fix this. All of them, we found them, the parents, pretty fast, but, maybe ID bracelets, in the future, we can have a booth set up there and write their names on it with their phone number, parents' phone numbers, help them out, or some other way.
What age were these kids?
5, 8, 10.
So, I think we should send a letter to the nice agencies that, helped us out for this. It was very nice of them, and would you be so kind as to tell Jacob the list again? We'll send.
Michigan
Make
State.
a motion.
Yeah.
After tonight.
All right.
Somebody wanna make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Then we send a letter of
Appreciation.
appreciation to each of the agencies that helped
Right,
support.
help.
Support.
Any discussion? Call the vote, please.
Bolton,
Yes.
McIsaac,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Alvarado,
Yes. Real quick, the ballots, the road ballots that you brought in, the big steel barriers that were brought in, who wrote those in?
Monroe County.
Monroe County.
Yeah, Monroe.
Those were.
Yeah.
And those two listed.
Monroe County.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice folks down there.
Yeah.
And we had that because of the incident that took place, a little while ago when the FBI raided and
Sure.
found out that this guy was a terrorist. So we took a couple, more preventative actions, that's where the command center from Homeland
like a pretty good festival to me, and I'm glad, I'm thinking the junior football man a lot. I have never seen a parking lot that full. I've been going to Melvindale days since the first one in 1890, I think. It was there. I've never seen that parking lot quite that full on a Saturday afternoon, so they were getting $5 a head.
Madam Chair. Will you come up, please? This is the chief. I brought this up about 2 meetings ago, about trying to get a no right turn in front of McDonald's, and has it gone anywhere?
We have looked into yes, we have, yep. We have looked into that, and we looked at the sign for, we contacted Wayne County, Road.
Are they gonna put up?
They have to do, like a study for it.
And also, a warning that there's a light
A
underneath.
warning
the
that there's a
viaduct.
lighter in the viaduct, we let them, yes, yep. Faisal and I actually went over to and spoke to the water department, but she knows the contact Wayne County Road, so.
You see
Okay,
a lot of
thank you.
people running that light. They don't know it's there. Anything else for the police department? Fire chief,
Evening, everyone.
Zach,
Sir. Yep.
that's your name.
Yep, I did. So I'm not obviously familiar with how in-depth, Chief Meister gets into these reports, but.
She goes on for hours. Basically, it's just a quick overview.
Yeah, quick
What you had
synopsis.
last month.
Yeah, absolutely. So, last month, for the duration of the month, there were 237 total incidents, 199 of those being EMS in nature, 2 being actual fire incidents. Both of those incidents were vehicle fires. I had a chance to look through those reports. There was no extension into any exposure, so it was strictly damage to those vehicles. One was in Dearborn on I-94 at Greenfield, and then the other was in Melvindale proper. Looking at the breakdown of all the incidents that I can see, doesn't look to be any drastic changes. There is what looked like a wild change in cardiac arrest, arrhythmia, dysrhythmia, but on a 2-month smooth, that evens out pretty equally, so nothing out of sorts that I can see.
Okay. Anything for the fire department? May I ask where 2798 Amazon is?
That is in, what would be the south end of Dearborn.
Okay.
That actual incident was from 2024, so that's just a breakdown against 2025.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Corporate counsel, good job, by the way.
Oh, thank you, appreciate it.
Good job, Zach. Good evening. Good job, Zach, filling in. Chief, nice to see you. Glad you're feeling better. And I don't have anything else.
Really?
Good.
Audience participation, one at a time.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Frederick, 18016 Harmon, also councilman. At our last council meeting, there was extreme point of contention regarding Deputy Chief Martinez when he was filling in while the chief was out. And my interpretation of it is that since the city does not have some type of policy or procedure which delegates authority change in a situation like that, that the deputy chief didn't assume full powers of the chief, because at no time was he, by this body or council, deemed to be the chief. He simply started doing stuff that Chief Canale could not do due to his health issues. So my suggestion would be that with the help of Corporation Council, this body, I'm sure it has to start at this body before it will come to us, create some type of a delegation of authority process or procedure. If this scenario ever comes up in the future, whether it be a proclamation or by this body or council, or even just a letter from the chief, but there is an actual formal process and document that says deputy chief is now the acting chief. Because to my knowledge, he just started doing duties of the chief. And then it came up to a point of, well, why didn't he do all of his duties? I don't think he was ever given the authority to do all of his duties. So my recommendation is that, you guys get together with Corporation Council and create some kind of a policy or procedure, in case this ever happens again.
Got anything to say, corporate counsel?
Yeah, we're gonna have to get together with the union because
Yeah, obviously the union will have to be
Assistant Chief
involved,
Martinez is part of the union, so.
and there'll be some, there'll be some bumps in it, but
I don't see a problem, I'm sure they would have ironed that out too. I mean, that did put him in a very good predicament.
And through the chair, at my job, we do, if the chief is going to be, say, on vacation or, out of town, whatever, for a period of time like that, he will delegate authorities in writing for X amount of time. Deputy chief will assume the interim role of chief from this point to this point. And it's according, I'm guessing through all our attorneys, legit and good to go.
I'm sure there's gotta be some kind of language.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
that's how we did it.
Yeah.
Too, it was simply, it would be a letter from him, but I think,
I think we should look into this,
Talk to
and
the union about
put it in our
because-
agenda for next week, we can confer with the union.
Okay.
And,
Through the chair at the county, is the deputy chief in the union or not in the union?
Neither are,
Or not, neither are.
they're not union
which is
members.
not the case.
So that's different.
Chief?
So that's one of the things that I gave you, this current duties is the police lieutenant, and then how we broke that up between patrol lieutenant and deputy chief duties. It used to be that the patrol lieutenant had 86 tasks that one lieutenant was responsible for. That we broke that down to where the patrol lieutenant was responsible for 33 things and the deputy chief was responsible for 31 of those tasks. In the Directive 028 allegations of misconduct, in that policy, the chief is the only one that can authorize suspensions or terminations. That's where I think some of the confusion's coming from. The deputy chief does not have the authority or power to suspend or to terminate. And being part of the union, those two factors, he does not, he can't. Can he write write-ups? 100%. Can he investigate officers? 100%. Can he do internal affairs investigations? Yes, he can. So that's where I think some of the confusion is people are thinking, well, since he's union, he can't do anything. That's not true. When I was a patrol lieutenant, I was still part of the union, and 4 years ago, I investigated somebody that ultimately was terminated. It wasn't my authority to terminate, but it was my authority to do my investigation, get all the witnesses, contact the prosecutor's office, and do what I had to do, and then give it to the chief of police. And at that time, the chief of police took action. So I mean, that's where it's different. It's not really different in this scenario either. I was able, I answered numerous questions at home. Simple phone call, we got this going on, he needs to be suspended. So if that's the case, then we can have a chief's hearing. I was always available for the exceptions of Monday and Tuesday, because that's when I was getting my chemo. But other than that, I was available to come into work, which I have done numerous times while I was undergoing treatment. So in that instance, if someone needed to be suspended, then I would have held the chief's hearing and suspended. If someone needed to be terminated, then I would have held the chief's hearing to do the exact same thing. So for him to still be under contract under the union, violation of union law to try to vote him out of the union without the union's approval. So that's where I just wanted to to clarify exactly what he is capable to do as a deputy chief and what is in the allegations of misconduct that is responsible with the chief of police.
Yeah,
And that is it.
Through the chair, I guess, you know, when we approved the deputy chief position way back when, I made the wrong assumption. I assumed that was a non-union position. I didn't assume that it was gonna stay in the union, so, you know, I don't know if that's something we'd wanna consider is removing. I know that can be done. I've seen it done in other places where you remove the position outside of the union. And then that deputy chief position is a non-union, that solves everything, except unless the current, you know, whoever, the deputy chief doesn't wanna be out of the union. If you create the position as a non-union or move it out of the union, then that solves a lot of the issues that I think are gonna, cause you, chief, are you saying that even with getting council involved, they're not gonna be able to just delegate, you're not gonna be able to delegate your authority for a specific period of time, like Joe said that?
I mean, that's where if they did an LOU, but I just don't.
Oh, okay, so
see
they
that.
could still work it out.
Yeah, that's something that we.
Okay, I just thought it sounded like you can't do that ever, but
Yeah.
you could work it out maybe with the union. Okay.
yeah, it's just something needs to be
Yeah.
in place and.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I tried to.
When I found out that that was a union, still a union position, I knew we're gonna have problems, and so, yeah, I'm not surprised that there was issues. I
Thank you
just
for
may
bringing it
have
to
had
our
some-
attention. We'll put it on the agenda for our next meeting, please. And use this as a guidepost for you.
Thank you.
While we were talking about it, Deputy Chief has done a lot of extensive investigations and has basically been acting chief with all the powers of the chief except for disciplinary levels up to termination. Is that correct, Deputy Chief?
That's correct. I'd just like to elaborate a little bit further. So there are, I've talked around other agencies, there are deputy chiefs that are in the union, there's some that aren't. Just a position for the city to consider it, for me being in the union or not being in the union, I still take calls, I still go on calls, I still deal with prisoners, write search warrants. So if I'm not in the union, part of that process, that could leave the city open to a lot of liability. So then that's my job duties of that, you know, of making arrests. They might, you know, because the chief doesn't go out and investigate crimes, he doesn't write search warrants, all things that could be held up for liability for the city. Just something to consider.
Thank you.
And two, with discipline, so we have a disciplinary form, all the supervisors have it, even I do. So we fill out, if there's an internal investigation, the chief will delegate one of the supervisors to do the internal investigation. At that internal investigation, if we decide that there's a write-up, you know, or there's policy violations, we write that, and then we, with the chief, we go in and then we talk to whoever's going to get quote-unquote wrote up. So I still have that power to investigate and write up. The chief is the only one that has the power to terminate or suspend. For clarity.
Thank you for clearing that up, and I wanna thank you for what a tremendous job you've done, all the chief, while we're going through this. As the councilman said, if it ever happens again, let's hope not.
No.
Yeah.
And there was, so with the, I'm assuming it's the deferment investigation, there was a lot of things going on there. The two other members of my, the two other lieutenants that are part of my union were in that traffic stop, so they couldn't do the investigation on it. So then I had to, and then the chief, unfortunately, you know, he was out. So there was a lot of extraordinary factors to that, other than me not being able to write people up.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Audience participation, come on down.
I just want to say a few things. Thank you guys for this professional, the way you guys handled yourself compared to council meeting. That was terrible. Seemed like they were attacking police department. First, it sounded like they were gonna fire the chief, then that didn't work out, let's go after the deputy chief. That's what it seemed, you know, to residents, I'm a resident. And, his job's not only fighting, and it's only one person they're after, it's first. He does 100,000 things inside that station, you guys gotta understand that. That's not his only job. He does a million things, and when he was out, he wasn't out. He was still on the phone. So when you guys say 6 months that he wasn't around, no, he's out his bed. Okay, this is what, you know, I need you to do. So he was still in contact with the chief. You guys might not know that, because he might not have been getting
No, we
paid.
do know that, we were
Yeah,
aware
we know
of it,
that.
and I
So-
agree with you.
So I just want, you know, it was embarrassing, you know, I love this thing, how you guys control everything and professional, and you understand the background of, you know, just trying to take someone's livelihood just like that, because you're after one person, and that's what it comes down to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Audience participation.
Thank you. Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Noel Hassel.
Noel Hassel.
So I just kind of really have some questions about what was just spoken about, just, I don't really understand, shouldn't there be like a ranking order to where if something like this happens, then the deputy chief is able to step up? Or is that something that you guys have to?
This body organizes the structure hierarchy of the police department.
Right, and that's what I'm saying
Okay.
with the hierarchy and the
So we
structure.
changed it recently by
Okay.
adding a deputy chief from the lieutenant ranks.
Okay.
And the deputy chief was given all the powers of the chief, as we discussed, except for one.
Okay.
But the current chief was off, ill
Yes.
and has returned. We're all thankful for that. Anybody wanna help me out here?
There are some other things that only a chief of police can do, and that is mandated through the state of Michigan.
Okay.
Certain sign-offs on a lot of different things, so deputy chief was unable to fill those, but when it comes to a hierarchy, so patrolman to sergeant, sergeant to
Right.
lieutenant, all those are done through union contracts, through testing, seniority, so on and so forth. Every department's different. We have our hierarchy and we have our contract and policies in which they go by. It's not an automatic, there's a spot, you get it. You
Okay.
know,
All
it's
right.
not automatic, it's,
Okay.
you know,
And I know-
battle scenarios,
saying
you know,
anything-
battle scenarios, wartime, hey, you know, the old days or whatever, you know, hey, corporal, sergeant
Yeah.
went down, so you're the new sergeant,
That's
boom.
where my head's at, you
Yeah,
know,
no,
so thank
that's
you,
not,
that's all I was
it's a
wondering.
process to
Yeah.
where things are left open for sometimes a period of time. And by policy, there are only certain things that the deputy chief can do. Like Mr. Bolton was saying, we did just recently create the deputy chief position, because there was, before Jonas, there was a lot of things that needed to be done that weren't being done in time and fashion, and we wanted to address that, we wanted a better hierarchy. So we are in the process, and we're not perfect, we're missing
No,
things.
that's really what
No,
I
no,
was
no, I get
asking
it.
about the.
Yeah, so we're getting there, and as things come up, we try to get them as quickly as we can and address them as quickly as can.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Much of the hierarchy, as we were talking about, did I say that word right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Is dictated by union contracts,
Okay, yes.
which are
Yeah,
negotiated by the city and the corporate,
The
you know.
first time I've been here, so it's just more
Well, thank you for coming.
curiosity for me to ask.
Appreciate you
about
coming to
it.
the meeting.
I appreciate you guys having me here, and thank you for that
No problem.
explanation.
Audience participation. Come on up, Chuck.
Hello, I'm Chuck Lucky, 7128 Henry. So I just wanted to follow up on the comment that was made about the meeting last week, because it really upset me as well. And, you know, a lot of the pot stirring that goes on, whether it's online, or from people who don't even live here, don't pay taxes, who came in last week, were vulgar up here, swearing multiple times.
For clarification, that was not our meeting.
It was a city council. Thank you. That is clarification. It was last week. And I know that there are laws that anyone can speak during the public forum. I'm concerned about decorum. We have enough problems here. We don't need pot stirrers from outside coming in here. And we are making good progress just in the months that I see. I know it's chaotic at times on whatever side you're on, and I don't even care whatever side you're on. I'm on the side of like, let's getting things done. And one individual I'm thinking of came in here to support the police chief, and I'm all for that. That was good. But to come in here, swear at the city council, doesn't even understand how government works. Like, take a basic course about economics. Like, they were screaming that you couldn't speak until the end of the meeting. Well, I believe that's the mayor's choice to design it. No? Well,
it's evolved, but.
Yeah, we used to have a public speaking in the beginning and end. But it's just all this chaos from outside. Yes, I understand. Anyone has the right to speak. I choose to listen to people who live here, who pay taxes. If you want to judge our city and our council, you know, be informed and don't be a pot stirrer. We've got enough chaos here. And what the chief went through last week with the deputy chief, with the city council went through was ridiculous. And I know this is going beyond the scope of the Public Safety Commission, but with all of this misinformation online, I know there's probably no way legally to channel truths, but I think we all need to call out the myths and the lies that are said. That's what happened last week, you know, and we need to just really focus on telling the truth. And, you know, we're supposed to debate. We're supposed to be disagreeing on this side and this side, and then civilly coming together to find nobody should win all the time. Nobody, not even the police chief, the mayor, or the city council, nobody should. But I'm preaching to the choir, I suspect, with this group, because you all are, I commend you. This is a good, well-run meeting, and I think it's just more focused. But I guess my point is, can we call out the untruths, the lies, when they happen? Give a person a right to speak their point of view, but we didn't call it out. And I don't think anyone should be allowed to come up here and just be vulgar. I mean, that's decorum. That's basic civil rights. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you. Through the chair, I just want to kind of touch on one thing. You said nobody should be right all the time, and I agree with you. Win all the time,
Yeah.
that's what you said.
That's the way government works.
Correct. However, I will say that the people that should win most of the time should be the citizens of the city.
Bravo.
You know, something else you said, bouncing off of that, is you said what team you're on. As far as I'm concerned, and I think all of our elected politicians, we're on Team Melvindale.
I know you are.
We may disagree, but we're all doing this. The people on council and mayor, they don't get paid a lot of money.
I know.
They get a lot more than we do.
I
We
respect
volunteer.
that. I respect all of you for donating your time. I mean,
And more or less, that's what the elected officials are too.
I know.
And they may disagree, but they are on Team Melvindale.
yeah, but the outside is chaos. We need to, where you need to grow, move forward, and I see growth already, so.
Can we outlaw
As a
Facebook?
clerk.
Do we have that authority?
Thank you.
Audience participation. Tell us some more compliments. Come on.
Janet Pagoshik, 18882 Green Street, Melvindale, Michigan. I would like to know how we can actually award our deputy chief. this gentleman has been through so much. He stepped up, he's been everything. And I would like to see somebody step up and provide him a worker citation that he can have in his career for doing everything he did. So, what can I do to make this go through?
That's something that I'm working on, so I understand, I really appreciate you wanting him to be recognized. I think it's more than just a letter of recognition. So I'm going through the award policy, to find out, what award can be presented, where it's a plaque rather than, a recommendation or accommodation letter. So I appreciate that. It's obviously with me coming back,
He's
I've
got a good
got a
heart.
few things that I'm
and-
working on.
Yeah,
so,
he's been here for everybody.
Yeah.
And I would like to see him get something for it.
Most definitely.
We appreciate you saying that, and, you're working on some
Yeah,
kind of an award.
It's with him stepping up, for the whole police department that actually stepped up and, should be recognized as well for assuming the responsibilities that they did. In my absence along with Martinez, but looking for a handful of a group of officers, yeah, the department would have been backlogged like this.
Good, Chair. Other than departmental accommodations, letters from yourself and other citizens, department receives those also in the officer's file all the time. And I know for me personally, those actually mean more to me serving than accommodation from the department. Not that accommodation from the department doesn't mean something, but those mean more, because those are from, a point of someone who had nothing to, you didn't have to come and say good job, you could've just said good job, moved out the picture. You put that in writing, and you sent it in, that means a lot, that means someone took the effort, the time, the extra ability, that people like Deputy Chief, and every member of our department has done.
He really deserves something, I just wonder, I didn't know
Appreciate
anything was
that.
going into that, but thank you so much.
I don't believe any of us disagree with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Audience participation.
One more comments, Will Washington, 666 roof, Melvindale City Council. This is a very well represented.
Thank you. Oh, this is definitely our leadership.
That was the other side.
No. We did have certain members come out from Frenchtown this year, again, to assist us. We had one from Dearborn and actually one from Lincoln Park that also assisted with Melvindale Days fireworks. I'd like to try to get a letter for them also, for their appreciation for helping.
We're agreeing with you. Can you help Jacob get all these names?
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that, giving the names from.
I believe the search team as well.
And the CERT team, and what do we do this next meeting, or do we wanna do something now? Yeah, we'll do it next meeting.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will get with Jacob after the meeting, I have the names already. They were sent to me because I wanted to.
You should send it also.
No, I'm going to.
Audience participation.
Amber's brother. Just kidding.
So I talked to a few other departments, being that CERT was just brought up in their CERT teams. I know Sarah Rada has brought it up a couple of times that he would like to see CERT do more, be around more. I know we were called out for Ramadan, which was an awesome thing to see.
For the church service, like the mosque service.
Yeah, the mosque. I would like to see more of a chain of command happen, and like we have the different organizations, like the water department and the DPW director stand up at the council meetings, to have CERT as a branch of the law enforcement, because we do work hand in hand with them. I've been on other CERT teams where that is a case where they just report directly to the police chief, or they have a dedicated command. And that's something that I would like this body to honestly buckle down this year. I know we talked about it in the past, and then it's forgot about, and we talked about it again. But to to see what we can actually do to push this program forward. CERT is through FEMA, it's in some schools, it's in a lot of different places. There have been even call-outs to go down to the wildfires in California, the hurricanes that happen in Florida. This isn't something small that we have for the city, and I'm proud to see that we have it for the city, but I would like to see it utilized more more in the community, if possible.
Thank you for bringing that up, Chief. I understand we had a liaison police officer who used to, lead CERT, coordinate, thank you, CERT back in the day. That officer's no longer in the department and we didn't replace them.
Yeah, we did. I went to Sergeant Ginther, and then from there, Sergeant Ginther, I believe went to Milanovic. But I'll confirm just to make sure that it is. So Dearborn has the same thing, to where, they have liaisons that you go to, and everything's coordinated through the liaison. But I will let you know who the coordinator is now, so then you can be in direct contact also with Dave and his wife, because I know you're all on certain.
And we could help recruit members perhaps, have a public meeting with the new liaison officer, perhaps. You need new members, I'm assuming.
We have a pretty good team,
Or
but
you
we're
have a
always
full
looking for.
staff, you have a good team, great team. Thank you for all your work, but you could always use new members.
Absolutely, it's a community building event. Anytime that CERT gets together, we have people from all walks of life come out, and it's awesome to see. Anybody can join CERT. It's, like I said, through FEMA, you go through a class, you get tested out, and you're a part of the team.
I know Jim, didn't he go through, he actually went through the instructor course.
Yep, so him and I are both certified to train trainer now.
Okay.
Including incident command.
I think if we're talking hierarchy, I think the thing that's needed is for you guys to create a hierarchy of who is in charge. Because I know that right now there's a lot of confusion of who's calling, who's doing what. And it's kind of chaotic in its own self. Some people don't want to listen, some people, so.
Right, and that's why I brought it from this.
Yeah, we need to get a meeting together to where we appoint, this is what you're gonna be doing, you are in charge of CERT, you're second in command, third in command, and so forth.
Can't, according to FEMA regulations, you cannot choose a leader. It has to be voted on by the members of CERT at the time.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
having a meeting with the police department, with the CERT,
Right.
to where we can come to an agreement, because, I'm gonna call Dave, but then we also have to call Gary, and we have to, so it's kinda up in arms on, well, who do we call? So we need to fix that, is basically what I'm saying.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I'm
okay.
not gonna tell you guys who's in charge, but I want you to come to me and say, if you need to contact us, here's the list from highest to lowest of how to get in contact for events. We could start using for football. There's things that we could be using CERT for, to make it easier on us, and then also the school, because they're using their resources to try to direct traffic to do that. Well, that's a CERT function, that's something that you guys are more capable of handling, so why aren't we using it? But again, like, who do I call, and how are you guys gonna round up everybody?
So I'm understanding, Chief, it would be great to have a liaison police officer.
Yes.
To coordinate CERT. We need to have a meeting, we need to establish by the CERT members the vote on a hierarchy for your organization. Try to recruit people, donuts from Jack's, sometimes that helps,
We got that big old nice truck out there, and I assume people know about it.
Okay, thank you, we'll address that next
Through the
week.
chair, do you have a contact or liaison with the fire department as well?
No, but that's something else that I want to bring up. I would assume.
Yeah, so our emergency, management coordinator has traditionally always coordinated with CERT. And I do believe that would be, Captain Jim Rogers, I don't know if you're familiar, I believe, taken the helm for that, in the past, so, I can reach out to him definitely and
Yeah, absolutely.
see, clarify that.
Your experience, your observation, how big is CERT in Dearborn? Do you Cert's been very beneficial to this city, in my opinion. For example, the recent fireworks, I don't know if you were around there for that,
Not this weekend.
but we had quite a crowd.
Yeah.
Probably tripled our city's population for a few hours. So these guys did a good job yelling and blocking residents from getting, not driving down the street. Thank you.
Thank you.
Audience participation.
Excuse me again?
Technically, you're only allowed to come up once per
Yes.
meeting, but if you wanna say something,
Thank you
please.
for, I honestly am trying to learn and kind of, you know, understand more things. So I'm wondering about, I'm really, is like the speeding on the side, on the residential streets, is that something that I would bring up with this commission? And is there a reason that we can't do speed bumps or anything like that because of, you know, as has been said, how can the officers be expected to patrol all, you know, all the blocks? Or maybe do something like Dearborn does, where they actually do take tips and, stuff like that, when it comes to, because, right where that, the White Rhino is, on Harmon and Hannah, it's like, it's bad, it's expensive. There's, like, sometimes there's 60 miles an hour for down there, every car on the
Well, to answer your question, first off, you can help us in the police department if you can get identification of these vehicles in some way.
Yes, I have, but they said that, I was told that nothing could be done because it wasn't witnessed by.
They can't give them a ticket based on what you saw, but the sheriff's head can watch out for them and find out if they're one of ours that lives in the neighborhood. And we can identify them as the speeders, right?
Yes.
And then going back to these speed bumps, speed humps, we've discussed that, at length for years. We've gone round and round. Actually, this body sent a proposal to the city council to buy one, to try it. And they didn't buy it, so.
I hate to say that I feel that is a mistake on city council.
It's not a mistake.
but-
Detroit does it, they work somewhere.
Yeah.
And we've discussed it, and, the ideal world is that we were short-staffed on this
Yes,
part.
right, of course.
We're catching up, and what we need to do when we catch up to full staffing is catch these people who drive down your street. They also drive down our street.
I bet they
You
do,
know,
yeah.
We know about that.
This one's probably not gonna be fun, this question, don't worry, guys. After everything that happened with the councilman at the last meeting, and I'm just kind of wondering why with the charges pending against him, like, he's still sitting, like, why? I don't know
That has
him,
nothing to do with us.
so there's nothing safety, because, I mean, even him being the mailman, like, you know,
We
He
have
showed me-
nothing to do with him and really don't wanna talk about it.
I was told that that's how, you know, it was probably gonna be, but I just did wanna address my concern, he was my mailman, so,
Thank you.
thank you.
Audience participation. Seeing none. Corporate council? No. Jacob, that's my fault. Commissioners' comments?
Yeah, I'm kinda concerned with these young kids riding the scooters. They're running, I went down to the police station last Friday and identified myself sitting on the safety commission, one of the officers. There was 2 kids on one of these scooters. They were riding in the middle of Allen Road in traffic. They turned, went up to the school on Oakwood in traffic. By the time I got to the police station, the last time I saw them, they were going down Reed Street. These kids are gonna get killed. They don't abide by the laws, they don't stop at stop street, they pull right through them. I don't know what we can do, but they gotta stop these kids.
I was gonna actually talk about it, so the scooters, I believe you're talking about, so our ordinance specifically says mini bikes, if I'm correct. Now, most of these electric scooters.
You were gonna bring this up? Mr.
So
Clinton?
I'll yield the floor to them.
Yeah, thank you. So most of these electric scooters will outperform and outspeed any mini bike. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, that's fast.
So personally, down my side street, there was a younger driver of a car, probably going 30, 35 miles an hour, and the scooter, electric scooter, like stand up, little
Yeah.
stick, like a bigger razor type scooter,
Yeah.
was beating him. Kid was probably 10, 12 years old. Now, those things are very easily uncontrollable at that speed, and someone could have got killed. So, I would like to look into addressing our mini bike ordinances for electric scooters and e-bikes, etc.
Segways?
Segway, well, go ahead and give me segways, but same thing. Yeah, I mean, we're talking electric scooters, e-bikes, segways, there's all kinds of these 2, 3, and 4-wheel drive electric vehicles that are not regulated by the state and are going to get someone hurt. Going back to your speed bump things, a kid on that thing, not seeing a speed bump, I guarantee is gonna end up plastered in somebody's windshield.
I almost
Just
got hit
going
by
down
several
those,
scooters,
yeah.
to be quite honest with
Yeah.
you, but I am seriously concerned about somebody getting killed by
Oh,
a
yeah.
speeding vehicle.
I am too, we all are, trust me. But, we do need to look into our, revisiting our ordinances, before, by next meeting to address that, because they're just gonna get killed.
Should we put that on our agenda, council?
Yeah. Jacob, if you could do us a favor and, make sure that everybody gets a, email copy of that ordinance, please, Al.
Okay, back, Mr. Clinton.
That's good for me, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good, Joe,
You
thank
got the files and,
You have to
Place
receive
on file.
and place on file.
yeah, you got that job today.
That's your job today, Mr. Clinton. So
Uh,
you want to receive and place on file.
Out there, I can do it.
You can do it, then I'll make a motion.
Motion to receive and place on file all or communications from the police department and fire chief as well.
I'll make the motion.
Discussion? Call the vote, please.
Bolton,
Yes.
McIsaac,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes,
Alvarado,
Yes. So going back to the CERT team, discussion, I believe you said that, our CERT team has a larger presence in the city of Melvindale than Dearborn does?
At least to my knowledge, and that's not saying that, I'm right.
Just your observation.
Just your observation. We'll take that as a win for Melvindale. Win for Melvindale, we won that one. Just wanted to point that out. Fireworks, I know there's been a big contention of fireworks, online as of late because of the Eid holiday. Years ago, when the state of Michigan legalized fireworks for personal use,
But on national holidays, I thought.
just in general for the state of Michigan, I'm talking, just in general, the state of Michigan legalized fireworks for personal use. And of course, every person in the world across the state can set up a little booth at Myers or whatever, street corners in this city that I've seen yet. And people are getting hurt. I saw it nothing for what it was by the state of Michigan, it's nothing but a tax grab. We can get in tax money. Me personally, since I was a kid and saw, of course, back then, you know, showing my age, I've seen plenty of kids my age when I was a kid lose an eye, lose a finger, this, that, and the other from M80s and firecrackers and this, that, and the other. So I have always hated them. I think once in my life, I've shot off fireworks for my kids. I've never shot them for my grandchildren, nor do I ever want to. I just think they're extremely dangerous. I think fireworks should only be handled by professionals, period, full stop. I don't care what holiday it is. Religious holiday, 4th of July, whatever, I just don't. Believe we need to, and city council should go back to just, I would love to see them outlawed by the state, but I know that's not gonna happen. But we need to revisit that as a city to ensure that our residents are safe. I know, speaking to a couple police officers over the weekend, they were called several times to children, and I say children, I mean 7, 8 years old, playing with Roman candles in their hands. No parent around. They found a parent, they took care of it. You know, they their best, and they, I don't know where citations were issued or not, don't really care, the kids were safe, made safe, and that's what counts. But we need to revisit this big time, because, what was the one year we had 2 fires? It was the 4th of July weekend, we had 2 fires at one of where the gas pumps were stored.
Yeah.
The 2 businesses on Allen Road there, in a matter of a week because of it.
We lost the grocery store on the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
Fireworks,
go.
who knows?
Yeah, allegedly, possibly. So, I mean, that was a huge impact. Thank God no one's been seriously killed or injured or killed that I know of, but that's my 2 cents on that. And we've already discussed our issues, our mistakes and missteps for correcting the DC position of authority, so we'll address that. I do want to say, going back to the police department, the commendations and the letters of appreciation and all the kind words that you guys say. I've been doing the job 37 years in September. When I say morale in the police field is at its all-time low, that's an understatement, total understatement. And I don't mean just here or county or the state, I mean nationwide. It is bad, bad. Our department is understaffed. They are underpaid, they are underappreciated by some people. I don't think anybody in this room. But when the sign on the city says, little city with a big heart, I can tell you personally for a fact that that heart is the biggest I've ever seen in any police department in my 37 years. These guys and ladies have stepped up like nobody else's business. You know, do they get it right all the time? Absolutely not. Do they make mistakes? Absolutely. Do they sometimes say or do things that, kind of inappropriate, should have been whatever, this, that, and the other? Do they not write tickets when somebody else said they should have? Or do they write tickets when maybe they shouldn't have? It's part of the job, it's called officer discretion. They have that ability. But when I say they have the biggest heart under the absolute worst conditions, and I don't mean conditions in the department by pay, I mean, from losing Mo, the chief going out, internal investigations, officers on workers' comp, whatever it is, and we're fighting and fighting and fighting just to keep people in the door. We have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left, 5 in training. Realistically, we'll keep 2. That's the real facts. Not because they don't want to be here and they don't like it, but it's a very competitive market. I lose 1 a month at my job, 1 a month easy, and that's not even retirement. So half my department's ready to go. I could have gone a long time ago, but I'm still there. So these men and women of our department have the biggest hearts, the biggest souls of any department I've ever seen. That's all I got. Good luck following that, Kevin.
I just wanted to thank the police department and everybody, all the work that went into keeping everybody safe at Melvindale Days. It obviously was very well coordinated and didn't have any incidents. A lot of communities are canceling their festivals because they can't control the crowd. So well done, and I just wanted to thank everybody.
So I had just a couple of things. One is fireworks. Were there fireworks going off in Melvindale?
Was it Thursday night, I think it was? Thursday, mostly Thursday.
I heard a couple, and I know, I don't know if everybody knows, but the state allowed these municipal grade fireworks, as you said. The state is responsible for us to have legal municipal grade fireworks, is that correct? And the city of Melvindale has added a couple of holidays that allow people to shoot these off, is that correct? Council, mayor, people?
That is correct.
problem, a lot of people have a big problem with it, obviously, but at 10 o'clock it's supposed to stop, is that correct?
That is correct.
And yes, 10 after 10, I still heard some, but I don't know what the police can do about it. It's very tough to track these people down, but I know that you guys are actively going out to calls, after 10 o'clock.
Thank you.
Just wanted to say that, for informational purposes. Then I had a resident who wanted us to give a letter of accommodation and citizenship to 3 members of our police department for going above and beyond what they needed to do during a fundraiser for our chief. And the Ahmed Saeed, Faisal Manasser, and Corporal Hatcham. And Deputy Chief Martinez. So I'm making a motion to give them letters of accommodation for this event.
Support.
Any discussion? Call the vote, please.
Bolton,
Yes.
McIsaac,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Alvarado,
Definitely, yes.
And, all I wanted to say, thank you for saying we're running a professional meeting, but I do want you to know I have the Tiger game on my phone. Winning 5-1. And we'll walk to adjourn.
So moved.
Call the vote, please.
Bolton,
Yes.
McIsaac,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Alvarado.
Thank you all for coming.
Oh, not bad, 30%, not bad for 40.